light goes and you can't capture that image, it doesn't matter. You have it here. You'll never forget it. I think I told you this story at Paris. Mm-hmm. When I was up in the Redwoods, we were up in Humboldt, in this area here. I was with two friends of mine, and I had my 8x20 panoramic set up on a spectacular scene. A beautiful panorama in the redwood forest, and the light in the redwoods, you have to time it because the light moves constantly. And you have to look at the light and follow the light through the forest. And so you have to see where everything's headed. And I set up an image that I knew was going to be spectacular. I had something that was really special. And I normally take one shot. That's all I do. Is I take one exposure. That's it. That's all I need. This one I was thinking I'm going to take two. It was that good. And as I set the image up and I opened my shutter, the exposure was about 6 minutes. Okay? The light was moving through the forest, and you had a foreground, a midground, and a background. And the light was shining on the foreground. I thought, oh, this is beautiful. I capped the lens. I waited for the light to get in the midground. I opened up the lens. Let it get in the background. I opened up the lens. So I had a nice even tonality of light going through the image. Capped the lens, and I thought, oh my God, this is beautiful. I get my dark slide, and I've got my dark cloth over the camera, and I'm sliding the dark slide back in. It's stuck. I can't push it back in. I'm like, oh my God, no, this can't be happening. So I was under there for about a minute, and my buddy Bill was walking back up, and I said, Bill, help me out here. I said, I got to try to save this. Long story short, I pushed the dark slide in, out comes the film. I have the sheet of 8x20 film I'm holding in my hands, and this image in my head that is on this film that has now been ruined. And I rarely get upset. But as Bill and Forrest will attest, I said, guys, I need some time alone. And I walked through the forest for about 5 minutes. And I just walked, and I was so upset at myself. But through no fault of my own, the film buckled in the holder. It wasn't my fault. It's just one of those things that happens. And the thing that made me so upset is I knew I had a spectacular image. I knew I had something on film that was going to be one of my best works. And I lost it. And then as I was walking back, and Bill and Forrest, they didn't even want to look at me. They're like, geez, we're staying away from Jim. They never see me so upset. I come walking back, and they said, are you all right? I said, yeah, I'm okay with it now. Because it's here. It was in my head. I still, to this day, I can see that image. I see the trees growing up out of the fallen redwoods. It was a spectacular shot. Now, I'm going to go back up to Prairie Creek, probably in October, and I'm going to try to reshoot that image. I know where it is. I know the trail. Is it going to be the same? No. Is it going to be better? I don't know. It's going to be worse? I don't know. Is it going to be the same? I don't know. And if I find it, great. If I don't find it, it's still right here. So when you're out, if you don't capture that image that you're looking for, but you see it, that's all that counts. That's all that matters. If you can get something and you can get it down on, I love to print, so when I see an image out in the field, I'm looking at the print. That's what I'm looking at. I know what the print's going to look like. And so I know what I need to do when I go back to the darkroom. I'm a traditional darkroom printer. I started doing silver gelatin prints. I took a printing workshop with Per. I met Per at Joshua Tree several years ago. First time I'd ever been to any event. I didn't know anybody. I really was not confident of my work. I was afraid to show people my work. It's like, I'm no good. I mean, now these people have got stuff that's just fantastic. So I was embarrassed to show my stuff. And then I thought, you know what? Who cares? I like it. If nobody else likes it, I don't care. I like it. So I'm happy with it. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to show some of my stuff. And I got some reinforcement from my peers that said, you know what, Jim, got some nice stuff here, but you know, you could do this and you could do that. I got some suggestions. And I'm an open-minded person. If somebody can give me an idea or a suggestion to do something different, great. We all learn from each other and all of our experiences. You can learn a lot from talking to other photographers, and that's why I was real happy to come down here to be able to talk to people with the same interests that I have, which is producing wonderful art. And it's just, I love it. If I didn't have to work for a living, I would be doing this all the time. As it is, pretty much when I get home, I'm focusing on working on my art. I have 3 adult sons, and I'm a divorced father of 3, and my boys mean everything in the world to me. But now I have time to focus on my art. This is my passion, and the passion that I've developed for printing carbon transfer came about in a really unique way, and I am so thankful for my friend Vaughn Hutchins. He posted an image on one of the forums. I happened to be looking at some images, and I saw this image that on the computer screen looked three-dimensional. Well, maybe it's a composition or something, but there was something more to it that just piqued my interest, so I sent him a private message, and he told me it was a carbon transfer print. What the hell is that? I have no idea what a carbon transfer print is. So Google carbon transfer, and I found some information. And anyhow, I met him up at Yosemite Valley, and we sat on the steps of the Ansel Adams Gallery. And he was up there, had an image on display at the Yosemite Renaissance that year, and we sat, and I never forget this, at the steps of Ansel Adams Gallery, and Vaughn had print after print after print, carbon transfer prints that were the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life. There was detail and texture and depth and tonality that I had never witnessed before. And I was literally speechless. I said, Vaughn, I need to know how to do this. I had been looking for this my entire life. And he said, well, here's some resources, and I'm going to be doing a workshop in somewhere in the Central Valley, I forget where. I'll tell you what I know. And so he gave me some guidelines, and I managed to get some equipment together. And this was, I think in probably August, I started in earnest trying to print August of 08. And my first successful print was actually this one right here. And I just picked this up from the Yosemite Renaissance Museum up in the valley. This was a Renaissance winner from 2008, 2009 Yosemite Renaissance. So it just came back from a trip around the central part of the state to several museums up there. They had a traveling exhibition. And I sent Vaughn a copy of this. And he said, guys, Jim, that looks great. So we entered prints into the competition. Well, I won, and my teacher didn't. So I said, Vaughn, I'm sorry. What can I say? And I said, you know what? You should be really proud because you taught me something that I presented and people